Hello everyone, and welcome to the Live Life Activated product webinar by Clarity. I'm your host, Bernie Rivera, and thanks for taking the time to tune in. We've got some wonderful information lined up for you tonight, and it's brought to you by two very special guest speakers who'll be on in just a moment to have a discussion and share their thoughts, ideas, and tips on how you can optimize your experience on the Live Activated system. Our first guest speaker is the CEO and founder of Clarity, Robin Hoffman-Haack. She comes with an exceptional track record as a business owner and as an executive her entire life. Along with running Clarity, Robin is a lifelong vegan and a health advocate for both adults and children. Also joining us on the call is Christopher Neville. Chris brings over 25 years of experience in wellness research, advertising, and the direct sales industry. He has worked with numerous well-known companies in a wide range of roles. As VP of Product Development for Clarity, he brings integrity and his expertise. So without any further ado, let's get this started. Robin, why don't you kick us off?
Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Thank you for being here this evening for our product webinar call. I am super happy to be here to go over things with Chris Neville, our VP of Product Development, and I can't wait to share our Live Activated products with you and some tips and tricks. And Chris, are you there? I want to hand the call off to you first.
Thank you so much, Robin. And yes, welcome everybody. And certainly for those of you who are a little bit more familiar with our Live Activated program, it is absolutely having some phenomenal results for people. And, we're just so thrilled. The basis of anything that we do at Clarity is really about how we can support people to take control of their life and gain, better insights in how they can look better, feel better, and be proactive in their quest for health and longevity. Now, I guess when we first started taking a look at designing and developing the Live Activated program, it was really evident that weight management is a huge industry. We know that to be true, but we also felt that much of the weight loss industry was actually missing certain elements as far as not just weight per se or inches and measurements, but identifying the true source of why we even gain weight. And this has been kind of a revelation for many, many people. So we believe that what we've addressed is a way that people can get off the yo-yo cycle. It's hugely emotional body image, and it's hugely emotional when we feel as if we're battling with our body. And many people have spent an entire life doing that. And the greatest joy that we have is hearing the results that come back from people who feel as if they've now got an on-ramp to getting well and staying well, but more importantly, they can see the results. And this comes back to how we provided a way of being able to bring together the building blocks and the elements. Is it complete in and of itself? No, it's a damn good start is what I would say. And what we have is a way of being able to recognize that, there's products and there's research and development, but there's also you, and you're the variable in the equation. And there's some things that you can do that support your body and your life. And there's things that some people tend to do, which is lean on a product to be the panacea of their woes or their challenge. And we believe that there's a partnership that goes on in life in terms of how we can use products, but also what are those lifestyle skills or things that we can do on a daily basis that can help ourselves manage and produce better outcomes for our life and our health. So the Live Activated Deluxe, as many of you would have heard and seen from our previous webinars, is a combination of products where we have our flagship product, Calibrate, which really is about flipping the switch to producing antioxidants in our body. But what we also looked at is the importance of metabolism and resetting our gut and the biome. And so Activate Biome is really that product that helps with our gut and restoring the balance of the good bacteria and the bad bacteria. So that way we have the friendly bacteria, as a term, that can support us utilizing the nutrients that we take in our diet. And then, of course, keto, the Activate Keto, which supports our body with moving into and staying into ketosis on a prolonged basis, which is burning fats for fuel. And then, of course, fuel being our protein formula, which is an advanced protein formula in as much as it's supporting not only protein absorption and utilization, but also has a fundamental important bacteria that supports the body with starting to make its own antioxidants in the gut. And this is a very much a novel approach to protein utilization in the body, but we're very excited because of the results that people are getting with it. Now, when we look at whether it be performance and lifestyle, one of the things, Robin, I want to share with you because, when Robin gets up in the morning, she's up before the sun rises, and she's a go at it kind of girl. And for many of you, this is about how we can incorporate other activities in their life. Robin, I wanted you to share a little bit about your morning routine because it's pretty phenomenal. But this is not about somebody becoming an athlete. This is just about what people can do to incorporate something in their life that represents moving the body. So, Robin, you want to share a little bit about your morning routine, getting up and what that looks like?
All right. Well, I have exercised for years, and I guess I'm an exercise fanatic, I got to say, because I love the way it makes me feel to, sweat and move and just get your body going. And I think that's a huge thing in life for success and for just being healthy. And so, do I love getting up at 4:45 in the morning? Not really, but it's just a habit, and I've created it. That's what I do because even on vacation, like that makes my vacation so awesome because I feel like that's how I love, and I might not get it up as early, I gotta say, on vacation, but at home, because I have a busy schedule during the day, I have that routine of getting up early so I can take time for my body and my mind and my health. And it's so important. And, you don't have to do what I do at all, and that's not what we're talking about, but you will be amazed that when you make time for yourself, how much it helps with your mood, your brain, your brain, and this biome is just amazing in the keto, and the way it switches my mind on right away as soon as I drink it. When I'm working out, I can tell a difference within a couple minutes. I just start getting ideas, and ideas flash through my brain, and it's like it turns on my brain. But, moving is so important, and and the whole time I'm working out, I think about my lymphatic system and just getting your juices flowing, and that's not just your blood flowing, but your brain flowing, and I do a lot of personal development too, so that gives me my time to read and on a stationary bike and so forth. So I just love it, and if you aren't an exercise person, I definitely highly recommend starting even walking 5 to 10 minutes a day, and just the more you do it, the better you'll feel, and you'll want to do more. Back to you, Chris.
Thanks, Robin. And really, this is just about recognizing that there's maybe some things that we used to do and maybe some things that we could do. And we're all busy. But Robin said something that I think is really important, taking the time for self. And this is about being selfish. This is about recognizing that if you're not taking time for you, there's less of you to offer the world. And I really think that that's a really important element of any personal development, but also just satisfaction, where you're really having an opportunity of being able to spend those moments with yourself, whether it be the walking and the other activities. They're all great, but this is just about finding a balance and a lifestyle approach. And this next slide is about the keto food pyramid, and many of us that are using the Live Activated program as part of our lifestyle look to broader ways that we can optimize our health and well-being on a daily basis. So beyond the Live Activated program, it's what are the food groups that we could be looking at, or what are the types of foods that can help us stay in this state of ketosis where the body is burning fat for fuel. Well, kind of, a flip side to what many of us have grown up with, because down the bottom we're not seeing the cereals and the wheats and all the other grains that are down the bottom that have typically been present within the food, and then the dairy product. It's like, where's the dairy product? So this is a little bit different as a food pyramid, but we hope that it gives you an idea of how you can go about perhaps shopping and looking at food in a slightly different way and your relationship to food. Does it mean you've got to go without? No, it just means that you need to perhaps make different selections in the foods that we use on a daily basis. So there are healthy fats and oils, as we call good fats and bad fats. You can see obviously the avos and the olive oil and the coconut oils there, and there's the fatty fish. Now, some people are vegan, like Robin or otherwise, so you'll find other types of protein, plant-based proteins to incorporate into your life. Obviously, with the fuel is a fantastic start for sure. And then, of course, you've got the lean meats, the low-carb vegetables. This is particularly important because what you'll find is that there's not corn present. There's not potato present. But does that mean that you can't have them? No, it just means that if you have more of the low-carb vegetables, you're going to find that your blood sugar levels are more stable and you're not getting those spikes as well. And you'll see obviously the nightshades and low-carb vegetables just above that as well. And then we've got the broth, the fermented vegetables, as we know with the kimchi and the sauerkrauts, etc. And then all the way up through to the nuts, seeds, and the low-carb fruits. Now, we know fruits and veggies, great, but it's really kind of focusing more towards the low glycemic index fruits, like your strawberries and your blueberries and those kind of things as well, and the macadamias and pistachios, etc., that can be really nourishing for the body, but they're also a shift away from those ultra-sweet, fast sugars. And this is part of what we're wanting to do, is to minimize our sugar intake, or reduce the sugar intake, reduce the dairy intake, and start to move towards some of the other foods that have greater nutritional value and also provide the body with the less of the causative agent like sugar, which is fundamental to inflammation in the body. Now, if you've got any condition that's got an itis, a this itis or a that itis, that's inflammation that we're really talking about. And inflammation is really fueled by refined carbohydrates and sugars. Now, we know that one of the fundamental things that we need to do is to reset and restore the biome, the gut. And that once that's restored and reset, that certain carbs can actually be precursors to protein. So that once we get the biome right, the body can tolerate a little bit more in some of the broader, carbohydrates. But, you can start to look at, quinoa and spelt and some other types of grains that are more robust. They're actually more complex carbohydrates, and they can certainly support you with your nutritional intake, but they're not as heavy duty on your blood sugar levels as well. One of the other things that I wanted to mention is intermittent fasting. Now, we know that those of you who celebrate Easter will know that we're just moving into this period called Lent, which is kind of, the 40 days and the 40 nights of, water. From a biblical point of view, we're not talking about that. We're talking about how the body can be optimized when we give it the space to rest. And so intermittent fasting has got a huge amount of science and research behind it. And this is just giving you another tool to incorporate in your lifestyle. Do you need to do it? No, you don't. Do we recommend it? Absolutely. Why? Because it helps the body spend more time in regeneration mode instead of constantly digesting, because if we just nibble and graze, which is, one of the stories behind, stable blood sugar levels, is we also need to have this time of rest, true rest. And intermittent fasting, there's different variations. If you look at 16-8, that means 16 hours of not eating and 8 hours of eating in a 24-hour cycle. Now, some do 15, 9, and some do 18, 6. It doesn't matter, but it's just looking at having a significant part of the day of a 24-hour cycle as being the resting phase. What this does is it also helps the body getting rid of a lot of the toxic loading. And this is where a lot of people notice huge gains and wins in their energy level, because it's like they're not starving. They're actually very, very well fed and nourished in the time that they eat. And in the other part of the day, the body is able to digest, regenerate, replenish, and rest. And so this is just a simple chart of 6 a.m. in the morning. Now, 6 a.m. in the morning, and you go, where's my breakfast? Again, this is just showing you a way of incorporating an approach that can help with getting lean and staying lean. You're still eating throughout the day and you're still having the same amount of nutrition, but the way the body processes the food is different because it's in fat burning mode. Now, between 6 and 12 in the morning, you could have your coffee, you can have your water. In fact, you could have your biome and your keto at that time of the day as well, where you're actually just, infusing the body. First thing in the morning is a great way to start with a glass of water with a squeeze of lemon juice and drink it straight on down. The body's been resting overnight and you want to hydrate it first thing in the morning. And that's what I always do, is start with some water, start with a squeeze of lemon juice, and then about 30 minutes later, have your biome, have your keto. And what I like to do is to maybe just do a bit of stretching, bit of yoga or otherwise in the morning. That's a good time of the day to start moving the body. If you see on the opposite side of the chart between 8 p.m. and 6 a.m., that's another big period of time where the body hasn't had any food. The body is actually now digested, rested, and now it's going into ketosis. So at this time here in the morning is a great time to exercise because the body is more able to utilize that mode that it's in and burning fats or fuel. It's not digesting anymore, and it's in this prime state. Now, 12 o'clock, you can see it's called eat. You've got an 8-hour window to eat, and eat. And of course, using the keto pyramid is looking at some of the selections of the foods you want to have. Again, looking at the healthy fats and oils, and light in the protein. And it's kind of a flip where you've got the fats and the oils, and the good fats and the oils are what we're burning for fuel, and then light on the carbohydrates and the sugars as well, and light on the protein. So this is just a simple way of being able to look at how you can eat through the day. I would, around the 12 o'clock, kick it off with your fuel, your shake. And then throughout the afternoon, depending on your lifestyle, you may not be able to stop and say, well, hang on, when am I going to get my main meal? Well, you've got your main meal at night and you can have your lunch. You're not going to starve. You're going to eat plenty of food. So don't think, fasting, oh my God, I'm not allowed to eat anymore. No, it's not that. This is just about how you position food intake in the day in a way that gives you plenty to eat and nourish the body, and allowing the body to move into a greater and prolonged state of ketosis as well. There's plenty of science behind it. When we look at the benefits of fasting, even with the research papers here with the National Institute of Health and the public access here, fasting cycles retard growth of tumors and sensitize a range of cancer cells to chemotherapy. There's so much more that goes on. But if we reduce our caloric intake, it also reduces oxidative stress in the body, because the body has a greater period of time to neutralize. And if we're obviously incorporating calibrate in our diet as well. It's allowing the body to greater handle the load, this oxidative stress load that's occurring in the body, and to then bring about a greater level of energy experience, because we're not spending the time and energy digesting food right through the day. So you'll find that you're a lot sharper. There's a greater heightened mental acuity. But the other side of things is, as you restore the biome in the gut-brain axis is critically important, as we know, because the vagus nerve that connects the gut and the brain, 90% of the serotonin, that feel-good hormone, is produced in the gut, nowhere else. So what we're wanting to do is to incorporate greater levels of satisfaction in our life by changing up some of the things that we do. And we're not talking about going without. We're actually saying do more of these things and less of those things. That's all it is a slight shift. And one of the keys with eating that's been highly researched is not to fill up to that over full stage. Let the food land, and you go, okay, that's great, and not eating to a point of I'm over full and you've got to waddle out the door. Just eat until you're satisfied, and then have a glass of water. A lot of hunger comes from actually dehydration, so make sure that you're having plenty of water throughout the day, and also you can have your herbal teas, etc. But this is just about incorporating some of these benefits. But going back to what we talked about at the very beginning with what Robin shared in how she starts her day, it doesn't matter what you do in your day on a nutritional intake level. If you're not moving, the body is actually stagnant. And so find something to do, whether it be a walk around the block and walk a little bit faster with the dog, or by yourself, or with your walking partner, or take a hike. Literally take a hike. And when you take the hike, look for hills. Look, if you're to and from the office, take the stairs. Do something that actually causes the body to move more readily. Surfing, to swimming, to any level of movement that stimulates the lymphatic system. As Robin said at the beginning there, it's not just about moving the blood, it's moving the lymphatic system as well. Sweating, getting the body moving and sweating. And you guys are just coming out of your winter there. Skiing's been a great activity there. Whatever it is, find a way to get into life. And it doesn't have to be full tilt. It's just about doing something for 20 minutes a day that nurtures the body. And you'll find that what happens is that in that movement, it actually shifts the resting metabolic rate. And you'll find that as you start to develop lean body mass, the body actually starts to burn fat even more efficiently when you've got more muscle tone. And this is one of the critical things where people could be leaning on, I've had the biome, I've had the fuel, and I haven't lost as much weight. Well, what else did you do other than that? This is not just about, chug-a-lug, and drink it on down and let the product do it for me. Yes, it will. And we've had people that don't exercise that have lost 20 and 30 odd pounds, which is crazy enough in and of itself. But what we're encouraging people to do is to incorporate some things in their life. Robin, any other comments on this part?
Yeah, I have some comments because I've been working with some people myself that have been using the products. And, here and there I'll run across somebody that is frustrated because they didn't lose as much as they thought they would right in the beginning. And I'm like, well, how much product are you taking? When are you taking it? Maybe they hit a plateau or something. So I've got all sorts of little tips I've given people. And like one is, switch up when you're taking the product. Maybe they were taking the product just in the morning. And like Chris and I have talked, maybe take half in the morning, half in the afternoon of the keto and the biome. And that will kind of regenerate the body a little bit. The other thing is, if they're not wanting to follow a ketogenic diet, I don't really follow because I'm vegan, but I have my ways of, of working in the keto, like the avocados I love. And so I've been able, since on the product, to eat a lot more fat than I used to think I could. And I love it. But I've asked people, maybe give up dairy for a week and see how it changes. It might change your body completely, or maybe give up the carbs for a week, because everybody's different, and they got to really, I think, take note of how they're feeling, and weighing themselves and measuring themselves is key, because some people, will right away notice their pants are getting looser, but they haven't dropped pounds on the scale. Myself, I haven't dropped pounds on the scale, but my clothes fit differently. I totally see a difference, and it's not like I was trying to lose weight, but I love it. And so those are just little things that you can help your customers with. And I have been telling people, when I get them started on the product, start with half a scoop of each until their body adjusts. And just like I posted something today on my Activated Lifestyle, where a new woman that I had get on the product, and she started today, she goes, oh my gosh, like I was not feeling good when I woke up, and she goes, since taking these products, I feel better. I was going to go to In-N-Out, but now I'm not going to In-N-Out because I'm not wanting it. And that's just the first day of on these products. And she goes, and you didn't tell me to stay close to the restroom. But that just shows how it starts working right away. So when your customers are feeling like they're detoxing, or maybe they're going to the bathroom more often, or maybe they've got loose, stool or whatever, that is great news. They need these products, and it's not a bad thing when that happens. And we have FAQs on this on the website. So definitely, hold your customers' hands, and because it's important, because everybody's going to experience the products differently. Back to you, Chris.
Absolutely, Robin. You hit on some really excellent points there. I mean, realistically, everybody's different, and your starting point is different. When we're talking about the biome and the gut, then we've got a different balance. We've got a different combination of, the broad types of bacteria that we actually have in there, in our guts. But what we actually want to look at is just giving you some ideas about being able to be more proactive in the things that will support your body and getting well and staying well. And, we've got images here with the results and stories. I mean, the results come in whether people are doing some of these other things or not. And there's some people that, as Robin said, have hit a plateau. Well, that's okay. The product didn't stop working. It's like, oh, hang on. The bottom of the container must have different spores to what I've been having in the first part of the container. No, it's not. The body, your body, is different, and it's responding, not reacting, responding differently. So what are the other things that you're doing in your day that are also contributing to this particular condition? So all these are doing is helping the body move back into a state of ketogenesis, where we're actually, burning fat for fuel, where we're being able to give the body a resting phase and support the opportunity for, regeneration to be more of what's happening. And regeneration can only really happen when the body has finished metabolizing the nutrients that we take in. If somebody is an athlete, an elite athlete, then one of the things that they're going to want to do is to make sure that they've got this resting phase, because that's hugely important for being able to stay at the peak. But also their gut and the gut status is going to be hugely important to the type of nutrients that they can extract to then optimize their energy levels. So whether it be peak performance or whether just to be able to shed a few pounds, it doesn't matter what your purpose is. Live Activated is not one-dimensional. It's broad. It's very, very broad. And so what we want to look at is, don't just look at the scale or the measuring tape. Look at some of the other qualities of life that are being enhanced as a result, and recognizing that a plateau is not a bad thing. It's sometimes, if you're renovating a house, as an example, you sometimes strip the wallpaper, you sometimes clean it out, and then you begin the phase of putting in new things and painting or otherwise. The body does the same thing, is that there is a clean out phase, and then there is the next phase of rebuilding, regenerating, and to recognize that these are just natural cycles that occur, but help your body by being a little bit more conscious with what you consume. And you'll find that the results are going to be there for the long term, not just for a day, but for the long term.
Chris,
this is about, go ahead, Robin.
I wanted to add one thing, because you mentioned something about it's a lot more than measuring and the weight on the scale. And it's so true, because I have quite a few people that have told me miraculous health benefits that they've gained, from their blood sugar levels and dropping, the diabetic medicine down, and, the insulin not as much, because their body's changing, their blood pressure, their cholesterol levels. I mean, I could go on and on from these products on how it's changing people's health. So the longer you take it, I know I am taking this forever for prevention, because it's all about, keeping your brain healthy, and the gut-brain thing with dementia and Alzheimer's and all of that as we age, and how that's becoming more and more prevalent from the diets people are on, that this is a huge, huge thing for prevention, the biome. So I love it.
So can you share a couple of the results, Robin? Because to me, just hearing some of the stories coming in, and then when we speak, you say, oh, look, I just got off the phone to such and such, and heck, share some of the stories. I think they're really, super exciting. Obviously, Sybil, our pin-up girl there, with what's doing there, but maybe share some of the other stories for some of our listeners.
Well, yeah, for Sybil, for one, helped her IBS. I know she says it's helped her sleep tremendously. Her kids have seen huge results from the Biome product with their social skills, their concentration, their attitudes. It's changed their skin tone, their skin complexion, I guess I should say, from the Biome product. And that's kids that are teenagers with, going through the change of life and all of that. And they're still seeing such results. The other thing, my friend's lost 36 pounds, and she can't believe the way she feels.
Say that, slow down there again. How much?
36 pounds, from 179 to 143 in 90 days, like right at 90 days. Another one just told me she's gone down another pant size. She hasn't been weighing herself, so I don't know how much she's lost, and she said she feels great. She was, looking for something where she could get off drinking coffee and Coca-Cola, and she just can't believe the difference. The one lady today, first day, I love it, hearing that, she didn't want to go to In-N-Out, and she just feels great, and, what a change. So, trying to think of some others that just come off the top of my head that I've heard lately. David Alexandra said I hadn't seen him in a while. He just told me the other night he's lost 15 pounds. So another fellow told me he's down to the last belt hole in his belt. Like he's dropped 4 belt holes. So that's exciting. So.
Yeah, well, look, all of those stories and many, many others are continually rolling in, and that's not necessarily people getting up at 5 o'clock in the morning and punching out, a heavy-duty workout or otherwise. These are people just living their life, and they've included the Live Activated program into their lifestyle. All of the other suggestions that we've shared with you today are simply for the purpose of adding some other tools to a lifestyle approach, not just the products, but a lifestyle approach to helping you getting well and staying well. And, it's just a great pleasure when you get to hear, the results coming in, and particularly where people have had broader base health benefits, like Sybil, as Robin mentioned, with the IBS, and beyond the weight loss. That's tremendous, and not certainly for kids in terms of behavioural changes, particularly when they're going through hormonal changes as young adults. It's a huge benefit for studies and self-esteem as well. So whatever it is, and however you do your day, incorporate the Live Activated products, yes, but also look at some of the other things that you can do, which not only support the body getting well and staying well, but add another layer of joy and satisfaction on a daily basis. So get into life and stay active. And it's been a great pleasure to be able to have a chat with you, Robin, and share some thoughts and ideas.
Thank you, Chris. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Robin and Chris. Without a doubt, many of our listeners are currently on the Live Activated system right now, and the two of you have really dropped some great ideas and tips to optimize their experience on the system, and that's awesome. And thanks to all of you out there. We appreciate you taking time out of your busy schedule to connect with us. And if you want to learn more about the Live Activate system, get with the person that invited you on this webinar, or go to our website at clarity.com. That's spelled CLAR, the number 8TY.com. On that note, thanks again everyone for attending, and have a great rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, depending on where in the world you're at. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.